Well, hey, South Bay family, Pastor David here. It's really good to take this time and talk with you. This is the beginning of the care group time, and I know you guys have a lot to talk about. I've written some material for you, but I just wanted to take a minute or two and just set the stage, remind you of the things that I looked at with you on Sunday so that you guys can get flowing right into some really awesome dialogue. So, as you know, and I'm so glad that we're talking about this. As you know, we started a campaign on Sunday, and that campaign is for the children of South Bay Church. And you might be asking the question, well, why are we expanding the campus right now when we're in the midst of a pandemic? But here's the reason. You see, in the life of Noah, God commanded Noah to build long before it started raining and long before he poured his judgment out upon the world. And guess what? In the same way, back in 2017, 2018, God was stirring the elders of South Bay Church and myself to think about expanding. At the time, our children's area was absolutely packed and overflowing. We were almost at the point where we couldn't even take in any more children into the facility. So we made a decision then, led by the Lord. And let me tell you a little bit how that happened. I had gone to the elders and I had said to them, men, here's the issues that we're facing. And I'm submitted to the elders of South Bay Church, and I listen to them, and when they speak to me, it's as though God Himself is speaking to me, and I move forward to accomplish the things that I'm directed to do so by the elder body. And in unison, every single person, every single member of that elder body said to me, David, it's time. It's time for us to expand the campus. And this is long before COVID. This is a year and a half before COVID. So I took that as of the Lord, and I'm so glad I did. The Lord spoke through them. He spoke into my heart, and off we went. And we have decided that it's so important for us to have a place and an environment for our children to grow up in an understanding of who Jesus is. So we have steadily been working. And as you know, if you've been around the campus, we're almost done with the expansion. And it may not be easy to see because all you see is this lobby when you come up, but I can't wait for you to see the children's area and how we have doubled the capacity of our children to be able to learn and grow. Did you know that there are more families moving into the Tampa Bay area than ever before? In the history of this city, they're moving into Riverview. That's why we're building. You see, what's interesting about Noah, and you'll read this in the group, and you'll hear this from me as we go through this little series. God asked Noah to build long before it ever started raining. And there's some very interesting things in there that I want to draw out. I referenced them on Sunday. I want to speak to them right now. There's some interesting things about vision that we need to hold in our heart as we go into the group. The first thing is this: God's vision for our life is always bigger than us. I mean, who would have thought that we would be expanding on the campus the way that we are? Who would have thought that we would be sending churches out? I mean, wouldn't it just be comfortable for us just to do what we do, love each other? But then God lays this vision in front of us and He says, okay, South Bay, I want 10 churches. I want 10 networks of whether they're plants or whether they're campuses, 10 networks of churches. Or I want us to expand. South Bay, I want us to expand. I want us to be able to hold more children because of COVID, because of economics, because of just life. I'm sending people into your region that are going to put roots down and grow their families there. I need a healthy and viable place for them to learn who Jesus is. So God has given us a directive. And that started back in 2018, and I'm so glad He did. And so the question is, does God give us vision bigger than who we are? Well, I think if we were to sit down with Noah, he would tell you, never in a million years did I ever think of building an ark. And you have to wonder, what about the wood? What about the construction teams, right? What about the rain? So there's so much that was bigger than Noah, but he was faithful. and he followed the leading of the Lord. The second question you guys are going to dig into in just a few minutes is the idea of God's vision for our lives. Is it something that I should be able to accomplish on my own, or is this something that I should have to rely upon God to make it happen? And I would simply say this: if it's possible for you to accomplish a God-sized vision without God, my suggestion is it's not a God vision. Does that make sense to you? If God's going to put something in front of you that is going to change the world, and I believe He is giving us the opportunity to all participate in something like that, He's going to ask us to do something that's pretty big, and we're not going to be able to accomplish it without His help in our life. God is the one who helped Noah. God is the one who brought the animals. God's the one who brought the rain. And God's also the one, remember, who shut the door of the ark with that family inside. He's the one who protected them as He was doing His business throughout the world. And the last thing is this: God's vision is compelling. I am compelled as I see all of these people moving into the region. I'm compelled that more and more people today are more disillusioned and more disenfranchised with the things of the world, and they're looking for hope. Could it be that God is creating an ark in our time where we can hold people, tell them about Jesus, love on them, care for them, equip them, and send them right back out? I believe with all of my heart that's exactly what we're doing here at South Bay Church. That's why we're in this campaign. I talked a little bit with you about the reasons why we're building and what's all going on. It's for our kids. We have brick and mortar that's going up right now, and you can hear from day to day here at the offices. You hear hammers, and you hear compressors, you hear lifts going up and down, so the brick and mortar is going in. But we also have another need, as I shared on Sunday. And that is, before we can enter into that building, there's all kinds of safety equipment that we have to have. We have to have fire extinguishers. We need to have carpets on the floor for people to wipe their feet so the floors aren't slippery. We have to have coffee pots, desks. We need children's toys. There's nearly $225,000 worth of equipment that we need to put inside of the space, the children's area, the hospitality area, as well as the offices. There's about $225,000 worth of items that we need to put in there before we can safely and effectively enter in. So that's what we're asking for in this campaign, is $225,000 in cash. And I'll be telling you more about that as we go in. But I thank you. I thank you for being a part of this care group. I thank you for listening. I thank you for digging into the Word, because we're all hearing right now God's vision for us, and we're walking forward in obedience. I love you guys. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud to be called a member of South Bay Church with you guys. Let's continue on pursuing the Lord and see what He does. God bless you. You guys take care.